All right, well, we are just a little more than 40 days from the new year. Can you believe it? But now is really a good time to start wrapping up the year's finances. Jeff Sachs from Sachs Financial is here to walk us through kind of the top things that we need to do for the end of the year. Thanks for being here.
Glad to be back.
Yes, always love
Yeah.
having you. A lot of people are saying, when's Jeff going to come back? What should people do right now to kind of get their taxes in order, I guess, for the end of the year?
Yeah, I think one of the things that changed recently was the tax laws were set. Up until recently, we didn't know what they were going to look like next year. So now we know going forward what our tax deductions are going to be. There are several people that are between the age over 65 that have a little extra deduction. So right now you still have a couple of paychecks left. It's a great time to look at what your tax baseline is and see if it makes sense to increase the contributions to your 401k, maybe fill up that health savings plan, HSA, and look at other ways to reduce your overall taxes before the end of the year.
Okay, well, speaking of people who are maybe 65 and older, or maybe retirees, I shouldn't say the age necessarily, but what should they be looking at then right now?
If you're, one of the things that I would say is as we get to the end of the year, we've had a lot of gains in the stock market. And so if you haven't looked at your portfolio, you might be exposed to too much risk.
Okay.
If you're close to retirement, you definitely want to take a look and make sure that you can withstand. The market's been going up and it's been going great, but if the market drops 10, 15, 20%, you want to make sure that your portfolio or your income can sustain that.
Okay, and what I was going to say, that should go for everybody, right? Like looking
Absolutely.
at their market risk.
That's for everybody.
Okay, and the end of the year kind of seems like a good time to talk about things like estate planning. Not really sexy,
No,
and sometimes it's hard
really,
for people to
It is,
talk
and
about
it's really boring because we think, oh, we should do it. And a lot of my clients they think about doing an estate plan for 10 or 15 years, they get it set up, and then they don't touch it for 10 or 15 years. Well, lots of things change, like beneficiary designations. So you need to make sure that you know who you're leaving money to, and it's better to do it now and look at it now, and maybe say every November, every December, I'm gonna assess my estate plan documents.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, good plan, because I think, oh, we added a new bank account this year, so you have to change it over to
that,
a trust or whatever.
Or there's a new child or a new
Yeah.
grandchild or a divorce or a death. I mean, things happen, and sometimes we just forget that we need to put those things in our estate planning documents.
I think right now, too, the end of the year, this is when you go, oh, I messed up all this year, budget-wise.
Yeah.
I'm going to get on track for January.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the budget, our
Yeah.
family budget. What should we do before the end of the year?
I think there's a couple of things. Number one, inflation is something that everybody's been talking about, and I really think that should be the word of the year, right? Because it affects us. And we need to take a look at what our income needs are versus our income wants. Our needs are like putting gas in the tank or food on the table. And a want is, I want to go to Starbucks and get a coffee, right? I want to go out to eat. So take a look at your income, take a look at your expenses, and try and line that out. Because inflation, even at 3%, which it was really, really high, but at 3%, if you have average income in the state of Missouri is about household income is about $64,000 a year.
Okay.
At 3% inflation, if you're working for the next 20 years or retired for 20 years, that's $64,000 of income to keep up with the cost of living has to go up to $115,000. So it's important today that we look at what our expenses are so that we can plan and make sure we have enough money to live the lifestyle that we want to live.
Okay, do you have time for a couple of viewer questions or one?
Sure.
Okay, Jason asked, if you are in your mid-50s and have zero retirement, what can you do now to secure a good retirement? Because you mentioned this, a lot of people come to you in their 50s and say,
Right.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
What should I do now?
So I think number one is, if you can, save at work. It's the easiest way to save some money. You probably have a 401k or a 403b. Your employer may even match it. So I would say at the very least, if you can afford to do it, make sure to put in money up to the match, and then your employer will add some free money, and that'll help you. At 50, you still have plenty of time to continue working and saving.
Okay, good advice.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll stick around and we can do something else a little bit later on Instagram or something
Sure,
like that.
absolutely.
But I always love when you stop by, and I want to say if you need more information or you want to learn more, you can go to sacsfinancial.com. You can also watch a replay of this on Michelle and the Money on Fridays at 1 p.m. on 5+. Jeff, thank you so much. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Okay.